Mark, do you know no one would ever be upset if Santa decided to come early? But when I do it, Lisa loses her fucking mind.
No punchline needed tonight. Brilliant.
No, none whatsoever.
Ho, ho, ho!
Showing off, I see. Quite the leading lady, aren't we?
Why don't you give us all a show?
Music's been nice. Nice, naughty. Nice. There are hardly any naughty children.
Patriotic little fella, waving a flag and everything.
No, Claire, that's the Mormon Tabernacle Choir doing their annual theme phone call.
Go back and stop that, you bad kitty.
I hate Christmas carols.
Merry Christmas!
And before I forget, you want to die tonight?
Hello and welcome to the first of our very festive, very Christmassy episodes. Did you like that music?
Yeah, new intro music. That sounds pretty snazzy, doesn't it?
It's our Christmas one. We used it last year, but you never listened to the show, so you've never heard it.
Have we used that before, have we?
Yeah, we have. Yeah, we used it last Christmas.
Oh, excellent. You could have got away with just telling me that was all brand new and special just for this year.
No, just recycled. We are Horror Movie Review. My name is Scott.
My name is Mark.
And we're an interactive horror movie review show covering movies selected by you or the occasional new release if we feel like it. You can get involved really simply. Follow us somewhere on social media. We're at YouRunPodcast. Or if you don't want to follow the show, but you really like Mark and you want to be his new stalker, I will get you a new stalker. It's killing me that it's not happened. He's reviews from The Crypt on Slasher or Instagram, or VHS from The Crypt on Instagram and TikTok. You can also leave us a voicemail. It's really easy to do. All you need to do is go somewhere you can send an audio DMs. That's Instagram, Twitter, TikTok does it now, Threads, they all do it. Push and hold on the microphone and speak. And when you let it go, that sends your voicemail and we can play that on the air. And we've got one this week.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Would you like to hear this week's message that come from Kate?
If I say no, you're going to play it anyway?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Hey there. Thought I'd send a quick voicemail to let you know how I went with the Dead Girl episode. I haven't seen the movie, had decided pretty quickly, have no intention of watching the movie, so I wasn't too worried about it being spoiled. I mainly work from home, so I was at my desk and the window was open. Nice summer day, nice breeze coming through the window, it was beautiful. So, the house next door is on the market. A lot of people coming and going during the day to have a look. And, just as Mark got to the part about where the zombies get erections, someone walked past my window. I might have just been the real estate agent. I didn't check if they had someone with them because I was falling over myself to get to my phone and turn the volume down. But I would really love to know if that was a potential buyer of the house. I'm thinking they're not going to end up being my neighbour. But yeah, I thought that was pretty good. Great timing, quite accessible. So thanks for that. I know that wasn't intentional. I'm not thanking you as though you had anything to do with it, but I won't be showing my face out the front for a while. So yeah, you guys have a lovely week. Bye.
The funny thing is, that was intentional. We knew exactly when she had a real estate agent coming around and we pre-planned the whole thing.
Honestly, when I got that message, I died with laughter. That is one of the funniest things ever. And if you were going to buy that house and you're walking past and all that comes out of your neighbours is, well, do zombies get erections or not? You'd be like, maybe not. Maybe I don't.
A Yorkshire accent.
Yeah, Yorkshire zombie erection. Yeah, maybe we just got someone with that. It's just happened to Kate again. We've just said Yorkshire zombie erection as another buyer's come by.
Well, you never know. It takes all sorts. It really does.
It does. Maybe the neighbour will buy the house because there's someone next door who listens to podcasts about zombie erections. You never know.
Or maybe they know you're a Euron podcast fan and think, this sounds like a great place to live.
I don't think we've got enough sway to actually start selling houses.
That would be amazing.
Yeah. This house has a You Run podcast listener, and all of a sudden the house value goes up.
We should just get window stickers for our listeners.
That's a good shout, actually. Coming 2024, You Run podcast window stickers.
Do you remember window stickers from back in the day? People used to have like their local radio station sticker in like the back of their car windscreen or in like windows of their house.
And then a helicopter would spot you and you'd win like a toaster.
Or a microwave oven.
Yeah.
Brilliant. God love the 90s.
Yeah, the 90s were awesome. Thank you for your message, Kate. We're really sorry. We're actually not, but I feel we should say we're sorry. You can also send us an email, yourunpodcast@gmail.com. We get those. We read them out on the air. You can request Mark to do an accent. Does a wonderful Australian accent. He's chef's kiss.
I do not do accents. I do accents, but I shouldn't be allowed to do accents.
No, you shouldn't be allowed to, but you are, and it's something we actively encourage here. So, send us an email. In fact, just send us an email and just write whatever you want and ask Mark to say it in an accent, because that also will be funny.
Jesus Christ.
Do a tongue twist. Send in a tongue twister. Send in Peter Piper picked a peckle, pickle, pepper, and ask Mark to read it in a Southern Indian accent.
Mate, I struggle to try and get through normal sentences, let alone doing tongue twisters.
This is very true. As it is Christmas, and if you want to give us a Christmas gift, it's really easy. There is the best gift in the world you can give to me and Mark, and that is £100. Just send it to me on Vimeo. No, I'm kidding. Review the show, 5 stars, Apple or Spotify. Really, it helps the show, and it's something you can do right now while you're listening, and it's free. Free gift.
But if you want to do the £100 thing, I'm cool with that too.
Yeah, just DM us and we'll quite happily take your money. That's bad. That's bad.
No, we wouldn't take it, really. We maybe would.
Yeah, maybe. We have a hell of an episode lined up this week. Magic, Santa, reindeer, a group of bloodthirsty mercenaries committing a home invasion robbery. If you've ever wondered what would happen if Home Alone, Die Hard and the Santa Claus had an orgy that led to a baby, wonder no more, because that movie actually exists and it's called Violent Night.
You ain't driving, are you?
I steer a little, but the reindeer do most of the work.
This is my 4th year as a Santa. How about you?
I started the whole damn thing.
It's Christmas!
We decided that you could have one gift.
Early.
What is it?
That is a direct hotline to Santa Claus himself.
I can talk to Santa.
All right, revelers. Welcome to your worst Christmas ever.
Let's go!
You have $300 million in your personal vault. That's what I want for Christmas.
I don't want any trouble, okay? Something's gonna scooch up that chimney.
Who is he? Because it's not your typical mall Santa.
Santa, are you there? Daddy said you were very busy tonight. My name's Trudy Lightstone. Are you gonna help us, Santa?
Yeah, Trudy.
Santa?
You're on my nice list. Santa Claus is coming to town. Time for some season's beatings.
Who the hell are you?
Boss, what if he really is the real?
There's no such thing as Santa.
These bad men, they're all on my naughty list. Naughty. That's naughty!
And what do you do to the naughty ones?
I give them a lump of coal.
Where is it? I gotta watch.
Ah! I believe in you, Santa.
Come on. Which one of you did that? Prancer? So unprofessional.
So the listeners score the movies. We also get scores from IMDb and Letterboxd. All three of which I think are being incredibly tight this week. The listeners scored this a 7 out of 10. IMDb 6.7 and Letterboxd a 3.1. No one's being festive. Yeah. It's not interesting.
That is interesting.
I don't want to say anyone's wrong, but you're wrong.
No, I mean, no, I'm not going to jump the gun too early. Let's go.
At the end of the day, it's a movie called Violent Night. It is the epitome of does exactly what it says on the tin. Yeah.
And I think people get this film, not to sound too hip, but get this film twisted a little bit. I've heard people that it's just a Die Hard knockoff. Just a Die Hard knockoff.
It's like, meant to be.
I was going to say that's, and they were one of the things that I thought about, because I don't know, this was the first time I'd watched this movie, and I was one of those people who were quite easily swayed by when it came out. I was like, oh, it's just a Die Hard with Santa, and I thought, oh, sounds a bit fucking cheap, not really for me. So I never bothered watching it when it first came out last year. Watching it now, it's like it's purposeful. Even like the Home Alone references and stuff, they actually reference Home Alone and say it's Home Alone. Like, it's done purposefully.
And the thing is, this is the second movie that I really tried ramming down your throat last year and you refused to watch. And now you've watched it, you loved it. Maybe start listening to my movie recommendations.
I know you've done quite well with the odd one or two, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. There's been some rough ones in there as well.
There has, to be fair. If you've not seen this before, I'm going to give you a brief synopsis. A team of elite mercenaries break into a family home to complete a high-value heist on Christmas Eve. They were not prepared to face Kevin McAllister's soulmate or the big man himself, Santa Claus. No more synopsis is required for this movie. If you're going to watch this movie and you haven't seen it and you're going to go watch it and then come back and listen to the rest, just go in expecting exactly what the poster gives you. It's David Harbour dressed as Santa wielding a sledgehammer. That's what you get, is exactly what's on the box.
Yep.
We are spoiler heavy. Heather, tell them how spoiler heavy we are.
You can read the fucking episode title and be like, I've never seen this. Don't fucking listen to it then. If y'all haven't seen it, that's not anybody's problem. Don't listen to the damn episode yet.
We've got a new spoiler warning coming for 2024.
Oh, has Heather come back with a banger?
Not yet. I'm recording with Heather tomorrow and I'm just going to provoke her to do one naturally.
Oh, brilliant. And the thing is as well, she won't know you're doing this because this episode won't be out before you record.
I know, it's fabulous. It won't happen on air. I'll do it before we start and I'm just going to jab until she loses her shit and it'll be like, perfect. New spoiler warning.
Excellent. I love it. I love a cunning plan against Heather.
Yeah. Santa is in a bar getting smashed, complaining about Christmas and kids. And honestly, it warmed my heart because all of his complaints, in my opinion, are completely valid. Yep. Kids don't like Christmas now. All they want is money and gift cards and fucking video games. And he's really bitter and angry. And I really like this jaded Santa that he's done this for 1,000 years and he's kind of completely over it now.
Yeah, it sets it up very, very well in a way that it doesn't necessarily tell you that it is the real Santa Claus, but it gives enough depth to his character and the knowledge of the law and stuff, which he's providing for you to be like, it kind of has you sitting on the fence. Because obviously I didn't know anything about this film. So I'm like, is it actually a real Santa or is it going to turn out that he's just some pisshead who just thinks he's Santa and ends up in a place where he shouldn't be? But no. It's legit.
He is the full magical wiggle my nose, fly up a chimney Santa. And I love the fact they get, like, this bar's a place for Santas, like mall Santas to work. And there's another Santa at the end of the bar who obviously does it because he loves it. And he's like, oh, look, I can see you're having a rough time, but I'm going to buy your drinks. So Santa's like, oh, thanks very much. He then gives a gift to the barmaid. He's like, that's for your grandson. It'll save me a trip. And he says her name and says the grandson's name. And then he walks out and he goes up the stairs and the woman's like, oh, silly old bastard. He's going up to the roof.
Yeah, don't go that way. That's the roof. You can't go anywhere else but the roof from there.
She goes up to get him to come back down. And when she gets up there, she sees Santa flying away on his sleigh. It's like, there's this really heartwarming moment where you see her go, oh my fucking God, it's actually Santa. And then he vomits on her face from his sleigh.
And one thing this does as well, really, really well, because when it was happening, it's quite a lot, sort of not a lot drawn out, but it kind of, he flies around sort of the cityscape a little bit. And I was like, oh, it'd be really cool if he just got like really pissed and crashed into the side of a building or something like that. And then the next thing, he just leans over the side of the sleigh and just vomits everywhere and lands on this woman's head. I was like, yeah, that's a lot better. Perfect.
Yeah. And there's loads of little bits like this. We get lots of little bits of Santa, like, up in his sleigh, and he makes a joke about the reindeers do most of the work, and he is literally laid back with his feet up.
Yeah.
And there's a bit where he like stands up and he takes a piss off the side of the sleigh as well. It's like, this is amazing.
Yeah, because it does this thing where you kind of, if you was to write a basic script for a movie and you were to go down the cliche routes of sort of punchlines, so you would do the initial setup, and then when it gets to the punchline, you're like, this is sort of the tropey way you would go with it.
Yeah.
It kind of does that setup as if it's going to go one way, but then the punchline completely comes in from a different angle every single time, and I couldn't applaud it enough for that. It was fantastic. It's really subtle as well. It's not like an inventive way of doing jokes and stuff. It builds you up thinking that it's going to go one way, and then just as it gets to the closing part, it just changes direction completely and completely subverts expectations. And I thought it was really clever to do that.
Yeah, it sideswipes you a lot, this movie, and I really appreciate the fact it does that. I also appreciate the fact that they don't hold back on the fact they're being very, very, very meta within their movie. So we cut to a mother and daughter picking up a husband from the airport, and we get the gist that these two are separated. And the daughter is in the back going, I watched Home Alone last night. It's the best Christmas movie ever. They set traps. It was great. And I'm like, I know where this is going already. And I love the fact you've just blatantly said, Home Alone, traps. We're doing that in this movie. Wink, wink at the camera.
Yeah, it just gives you the perfect setup, as if to say, when it happens, just know we're doing this intentionally.
Yeah. They're going to visit their incredibly wealthy grandmother, who's like the patriarch of the family. I have a real dislike for people of this level of wealth in movies. The grandmother is not as bad as I thought she was going to be, but we get there and we meet his sister and her boyfriend and her son. And oh my God, they're the worst people in the world. Did you spot who the boyfriend was?
Yes, it's the amazing vampire from Twilight.
It's James from Twilight. I'm looking at him going, it's not. Straight onto Google. It is.
He was my favourite in this as well. I thought it was fucking brilliant.
He is how I imagine you with that level of wealth.
You mentioned earlier about how you didn't think the mother was like that bad. And I have to agree with you. I don't think she is that bad at all. I think it's everybody else around her and the amount of ass kissing that they do towards her that just gives her this stone cold, like, oh, you're my family, but all you care about is my money. You can just see the constant eye rolls coming from her all the time. And it's not that she doesn't care. It's just that she's just so bored and pissed off with it.
Yeah. And you've got like when she comes in, that the family. So you've got Trudy, who's the little girl, and then you've got her mum and dad. The dad's like, look, we're just going to sit down. I'm not really in for getting mum's money and kissing her ass. We're just going to sit here. And then the sister's like, why are you all the way back there? And then they go and they get even further back. And the grandmother's
as if they're like competing for
the
coolness of it. Because usually it sets it up in a way that each year they all gather in this little hall waiting for mother to come down. And as she comes down, they all stand to attention in a line ready to greet her. And obviously the kiss-ass family go up first to do that. And as you've mentioned, the dad this year is like, look, I'm not doing this anymore. Let's just, because him and his wife have separated due to his
obsession with work.
His obsession with work, because he works for the family, and his distance from his own family due to his obsession with work and the wealth of the family and maintaining appearances. And she's just kind of one of those people who's just had enough of it and don't want her daughter to come up in that kind of lifestyle.
Yeah.
And that's caused a rift between them. So you can tell this year he's trying to really pull it back and show that he doesn't want that himself anymore.
Yeah, and the grandmother has such a good line in this scene, and it's such a throwaway line. So the grandmother's called Gertrude. The little girl Trudy is also called Gertrude, and the boy is called Bertrude. That's how much they're competing, but they call him Bert. And she says hello to her. She's like, "Oh, my little granddaughter Gertrude," and Gertrude turns around and goes, "Actually, I call myself Trudy now." And the grandmother goes, "What, like a hooker?" And the parents like glare at her, and she's like, "She doesn't know what a hooker is. It's fine." And I was dying with laughter because it's the sort of thing that a woman of that age would it's quite believable they would say that. Oh, it's a hooker's name.
And this whole entire 5-minute segment, there is so many zingers within these moments alone. It's just it's a blink and you miss it kind of thing. They have the full conversation about Gertrude and Bertrude. And Gertrude's mum's like, Bertrude's not even a name. And she's like, well, it's not my fault I didn't have a girl. And the son just looks up at her as if to say, Mum, what the fuck?
And I hate the son as well. He's like a real top end TikToker, and he's like, "Hi guys, I'm here at my rich grandma's house." Shut up, go away.
Yeah, brilliant.
He only comes into his own later in the movie, and there's a couple of moments where I'm like, "You're brilliant. You're such a well written character," and I didn't see it until now.
Yeah, and I think a lot of them do have that throughout. I think they all have their own quite contained individual arcs throughout the movie. Then they all feel individually purposeful to the story. And although they have moments where you're like, oh, you're just a typical throwaway character, you're probably going to be dead shortly, they all kind of evolve and change as the movie goes on. And it's just a level of development I really wasn't expecting from this movie at all.
No, and we cut to Santa, and Santa is delivering gifts, and he is so like broken. He's got his magic sack, and he just reaches in and it gives whatever present he requires at the time. And he pulls out a hand of gift cards and like violently throws them into stockings. He throws a present at the tree. He finds a dad who sat there with some beers. He gives him a lump of coal and then steals his beers and gets back on his sleigh. And he's just, I can't explain to you unless you've seen it how disgruntled he is. He's like a disgruntled employee who's been working at the same place for 30 years and he hates everything about it.
They set it up in the bar earlier on that this is his last year. He's like basically saying, I'm done. This is it. After this year, I'm finished. And you can tell that he's just trying to get through the night.
Yeah. Yeah. And we get a moment where we get like a daddy's bad moment. So the dad didn't take his daughter to go and see Santa, and she really loves going to see Santa. And the dad does what all dads do when we forget to do something, scrambles an idea together. He goes and really good idea. He goes and gets a walkie-talkie with a set of headphones. He gives it to his daughter. He says, look, Santa's really busy tonight, but that's a magic walkie-talkie. So you can talk to Santa. He may not be able to talk back because he's delivering a lot of presents, but he can hear everything you're saying. And that is so much better than going and seeing him because you can talk to him all night long.
Do you know what? I tell you now, I am going to implement this when my daughter's old enough to understand use this technique. Isn't it brilliant?
Yeah, absolutely brilliant.
Because the level of creativity they would have with that as a child is just amazing. To think that they actually have like a one-way, like a Santa on speed dial. Do we call it? Are you a Santa or are you a Father Christmas household? Because we're a Father Christmas house.
We're a Santa house.
Oh, you're very American.
Yeah. Yeah, he was Father Christmas when they were really little. Now he's Santa.
The thing is, it's so hard. Like, my daughter's 3, and already I'm kind of juggling trying to explain to her because we want to be Father Christmas because it's traditional English
posh.
Father Christmas, posh. Yeah. And Santa's just Americanized, isn't it? So I was like, look, he's Father Christmas, so we have quite a lot of Christmas books this year. But as I'm reading them on the night to bedtime and stuff, they all say fucking Santa in them. So I'm having to change it myself as I'm going. And there's so many times I've slipped up and just read it word for word as I'm going through the book. And she's like, Santa? Who's Santa?
Yeah, who the fuck is Santa?
Shit. And then we'll maybe put TV on for half an hour and watch some Christmas stuff. And having to explain to her that is Father Christmas. They're just calling him Santa because they're weird.
Yeah, that's his nickname.
That's his nickname.
We hear her talk to Santa, and so do her parents stood outside the door, and she doesn't want any gifts. She's been really good this year. All she wants is her parents to get back together. And it's sad. There's lots of elements of this that are very much like Hallmark Christmas movie.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. But it does it very well in a way that it's sort of on the nose about it.
Santa arrives at the house, at this posh house. The fact he loses his shit with Prancer, because Prancer's done a shit on the roof and he treads in it. He's like, this is disgusting. Why don't you do it when we're flying? Why do you always do it on the roof? Every year you do this to me. I swear to God, I'm going to turn you into reindeer stew. It's like, yes. When he gets in the house, he starts to kind of deliver gifts. Then he finds the homemade cookies that Trudy's made, and he eats them. And he's like, "Oh, these are great." And then
bear in mind, all the ones he's had before he's been spitting out and chucking away. He takes a pocket full of these ones.
Yeah, and then he finds the liquor cabinet, and he's like, "Oh, pre-war whiskey." And then he just takes a seat in a massage chair, and he's drinking whiskey and eating cookies, and he falls asleep because he's pissed. It's great.
Yeah, because the thing is, all the way through, every time he goes into a house, it's been shit cookies and milk.
Yeah.
All the way through, and he's always just taking a sip of the milk, and you can tell that he's been drinking milk for thousands of years, and he's just sick to the back teeth of it. And what he does is he gets the glass of milk, he tips it out, and pours the whiskey straight into the glass, and you can see the remaining milk curdling with the whiskey, and he drinks it. I'm like, oh, that is absolutely revolting. I'm not a fan of Baileys, in case you hadn't gathered by this conversation.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Baileys. However, I will partake at Christmas because I feel it's a Christmassy thing.
That's so weird. Why would you drink something you don't like just because of the time of year?
I wouldn't say I don't like it. I'm just, it wouldn't be if I went out, it's not my drink of choice, but I will quite happily.
To be fair, you have already told me you partake in pumpkin spice lattes, so I expect nothing less.
No. I don't do lattes. I do caramel almond chocolate.
Oh, right. Okay. Oh, that's a little bit more acceptable. I thought he was a spiced pumpkin kind of guy around Halloween.
No, which I had one this morning, again, with marshmallows, and I had grated chocolate this morning, too.
You're a fucking toddler, man. Stop it.
I am. All of a sudden, everything goes a bit wild. So the staff that are kind of hosting this party, you've got a barmaid there, you've got a couple of people walking around and serving canapes. They start to take out some of the staff. They kill the phone lines and the internet. And then John, I can never pronounce his surname, John Linguini.
Oh, I was just going to refer to him as Luigi throughout the whole of this.
It's a Luigi. We're going to call him Mr. Scrooge because that's who it is. It's John Lagazami.
Liguizzi,
yeah, that guy. Luigi.
He's great. I love him, and he seems to be having such a mass resurgence in his career at the moment, and I am 100% behind it because he's a phenomenal actor. He really is great.
And this and The Menu were out in cinemas at the same time.
Yes, because he was fantastic in that as well.
He was great in that. And I can't help but feel like in The Menu, he said openly he based his character on a Steven Seagal. 100%.
And he hates Steven Seagal. Did you hear? Yeah. Did you read the interview about him?
Yeah,
Steven Seagal?
Yeah, and I think 100% this character in this movie, he also based on Steven Seagal.
That is just why he's having a resurgence, due to his complete detest for Steven Seagal.
Yeah, Hollywood's gone, you hate Steven Seagal? We have movie roles for you. What would you like?
The thing is with him at the moment, I think he needs to be a little bit careful because he is getting some really cool, really big roles at the moment, but he keeps putting his foot in it time and time again when he gets interviewed. When the new Mario movie came out, he just blasted Chris Pratt and everybody. I'm like, dude, be careful with what you're saying. He's like, this is ridiculous, casting Americanized people to play Italian characters and stuff like this. I'm like, dude, you're an actor. That's your job. You probably played white people and American people in the past. You don't just take Italian roles because you're Italian. Your job is to pretend to be somebody else. So stop being a dick. And I was like, I like you. Be careful with what you're saying, and calling out other actors as well. That's a step in itself.
Big actors too.
Someone who is in literally the biggest properties in the world at the moment, and calling them out and being like, you're a dick for taking this role. I was like, dude, don't be that guy.
Yeah, I do like him. I do like it. And part of the reason I like him is because he does say what he wants, and he's always said what he wants his entire career. And I kind of respect that. If he
but there's a way of doing it respectfully enough to your co-workers. Like Chris Pratt is just taking the money, you know what I mean? As every person does in the industry, it's a job, and a very well paid one, I'm sure. So for him to then go towards the actor instead of the casting agency or the producers and directors of the movie, I think was a bit of a dud move on his part.
You will leave Luigi alone.
I love the guy. I'm just saying, sometimes just know when to stop.
Mr. Scrooge arrives at the front gate and he kills the security guard who we met earlier, who's actually one of the only nice characters in this. And they do like this. Everyone checks in on radio. I love the fact their code names are like Tinsel and Jingle and Krampus.
And the fact that they even turn around and was like, we're going to do this stupid shit all night.
Yeah, honestly, it's fabulous. The dad makes a decision that he wants his wife and family back. And as they're having this heart-to-heart moment that looks like he's getting somewhere, we hear gunfire. As does Santa, because it wakes him from his vibrating chair. They violently take the compound. And when I say violently, they are stabbing people, slitting throats, breaking legs, and it's all shown on camera. It's incredibly gory. Yeah. The security go to take the mum to a panic room. And when they get there, Mr. Scrooge is already waiting. He's like, yeah, I know about your panic room. How about we all go back to the lobby? And he's like, right, go and round up everyone who's a family member. Anyone who isn't, kill them.
Yeah.
The family are rounded up, and Santa is literally stood by the fire, tapping his nose, trying to get out because he wants absolutely nothing to do with this at all.
I didn't. Right, so it never explains what he runs on.
No, and he openly says it in the movie numerous times. I don't understand how it works. And that is what's so great.
Christmas magic. I don't understand how it works.
Yeah, it's Christmas magic and I don't get it. I'm Santa and I don't understand it, which means they don't have to explain it, which I thought was brilliant.
So in that case, are we saying that the Christmas magic wanted him to stay in this situation?
I think there's two ways to look at it. One, the Christmas magic wanted him to stay. Two, there wasn't enough people in that house who believed in him and it was just a bit weak.
Ah, right. Okay. That would make more sense.
It's one of those two, but I'm kind of swaying to the fact that Christmas magic went, no, you need to sort this out. You're staying.
Yeah, I think that works better for me in terms of my enjoyment of the movie to go that route with it.
Yeah. As he can't get out the chimney, one of the mercenaries finds him and he hits Santa in the face with a gun. And Santa's like, look, you don't want to do this. And he hits him again. And Santa snaps, headbutts him on the forehead. The guy fires his gun up in the air and the reindeer leave. And then it just ensues into like John Wick Santa as they fight through this room. He ends up wrapping the guy in Christmas lights and throws him out the window and they both go out. The guy lands on like a Christmas display downstairs on like a spiky metal Christmas tree and gets impaled and Santa just hits the deck. And it's like, it doesn't hold back on how, it's Violent Night and it really doesn't hold back. When it says it's violent, this is like John Wick levels of violence throughout.
And this was it. This was where I became fully engaged in this movie because I was kind of pre-anticipating that he was going to be this super Santa and he'd just be like, flick of his fingers, he could just teleport to one side of the room and just wipe everybody out. No, this dude gets the shit beaten out of him throughout this entire movie.
Yeah.
He's a full-on John McClane. He gets his ass handed to him in every single fight he's in, and he barely makes it out of every single one of them. One thing that I was really grateful for as well is he had those Christmas Santa glasses on at the beginning throughout the whole thing. I was like, I really hope he takes those glasses off. Immediately gets punched in the face. His glasses fall off. And we never see him again. I was like, fantastic.
Done away with that headache now. We don't need to worry about those. When Santa's outside, he sees that the family are being held hostage. And he's still like, do you know what? Fuck you guys. You're kind of all on my naughty list. And then he spots Trudy. And you can see he kind of goes, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I need to say. The reason that these mercenaries are there is there's $300 million in the personal vault. And this is government money that was given to this big corporation to feed terrorist organizations that the government can't do legally. I love this. I love the fact that it's like they've made this family out to be so bad. And we see Santa get his list out numerous times, which is really cool. and he'll like open the list and it will have a name on it and it gives you like fun facts about that person. So like he opens it for Trudy, it's like loves animals, really good, helps old ladies across the road. He opens it for like one of the mums, it's like been dealing in illegal arms for 37 years, has a violent temper, heavily drinks. It's so...
Yeah, it's like an honest Facebook profile for every single person. Instead of being like live, love, laugh, it's like, yeah, no, really, Trisha, you're not really into that kind of thing, are you? You're cheating on your husband.
They realise they've got someone on the property. So they find the body of their guy and they're like, we've got a mole on the site. We need to flush it out. And I like the fact that they've got CCTV so they can see that there's a guy dressed as Santa running around. They know it's not like, it's no big reveal. Santa's not like sneaking about. They're watching him on the cameras.
I know, like that's the thing that I was saying. Like I thought it would just be this whole mythical thing with Santa has incredible powers. No, he's just a dude.
Yeah, he's just a guy. And I have to say, David Harbour, I think he plumped up for this.
I love him. I love him unconditionally. And I think, again, with John Louis Guillermo, I think he's another guy who is going to be great. Like really, really great in Hollywood within the next 10 years. I know he's attached to Stranger Things at the moment and he's done a few hit and misses along the way. But this is phenomenal in terms of Hollywood blockbuster. I think he did really well with the Gran Turismo movie that's come out recently. I haven't seen it personally, but I know that was really successful for him. He had a bit of a bum rap with the Hellboy reboot, but I've seen it. And as bad as that movie is, he was fucking amazing in it. And I never thought anybody would be able to live up to the performance that Ron Perlman did in the original two.
The thing is, though, all of those roles come into this. You can see when he goes nasty Santa, he's Hellboy. When he's happy Santa, he's he's
Hopper.
Hopper, thank you. It's those characters all come together in this. Santa's trying to find a phone, and the phones aren't working, and then he hears Trudy on the walkie-talkie. Santa in his sack looking for a weapon is one of the best things in this movie, and it's a reoccurring thing. So his magic sack, he just puts his hand in, gets what he wants. There's a guy who comes into this room that Santa's in and he reaches straight in the sack, pulls out a video game. In the sack again, another video game. In the sack again, he's like, does no kid have a baseball bat or a fucking skateboard anymore?
He's brilliant. It's so fucking funny, man. And it's so relevant as well because it is relatable in what kids are like today. I have nephews and nieces and shopping for Christmas is not enjoyable for them in the slightest. Because my sisters are just like, oh, just get them a video game or get them vouchers so they can. And I'm like, no, because I'm someone who prides myself in. We like to buy. So like, if they're like, oh, he's really, we'll just go out and get what we want. We're like, right, no, we really like this. I think he'd enjoy it. You're just clearly buying him vouchers. He's going to spend Christmas morning opening vouchers or video games that he's not going. You're probably not going to let him play on Christmas Day because you've got other shit that you want to do throughout the day. So we try and buy toys all the time. That's what we do. We buy toys or activities and things like that. We're really not as hippie as I make myself out to be on this show sometimes. Really, I swear we're not.
You really are. You really, really are. I also love.
I hear myself back sometimes. I'm like, fucking dickhead.
I also love in this. He pulls out what we think is a game, and he goes, "Die Hard." I don't know what that is.
Oh, that was brilliant. I bent over double when he said that.
And he gets in a fight again, and this guy throws him over the pool table. He stabs Santa. Santa gets a sock and fills it with pool balls and goes to town on this guy. He then takes the Christmas star off the top of the tree and stabs him in the eye before plugging it in and electrocuting him, causing the guy's head to catch on fire. It's amazing.
And again, you like the way you said it then, it was almost as if it was like strategically planned. It wasn't. He just reached for it. He grabbed it, stabbed him in the eye. And the guy came back and he just panicked and didn't know what to do and found that it was plugged in, so turned the switch on and it killed him. Yeah. I was like, it's just a clumsy execution throughout for him. And I'm like, perfect.
Yeah. He talks to Trudy on the walkie-talkie now. And I love the fact he checks the list to see if she is actually good at this point. And she basically says that there's lots of people here and that they're going to hurt us. And he pulls out the list and he can see all the mercenaries, like, they're all on my naughty list and I'm going to shove Cole up there. She goes, so he goes, oh, come on, Trudy, you're on the good list and we need to keep you on there. She's like, can I say anus? He said, how about we just don't say anything and we'll just move on. I'm going to deal with it.
You know that line's coming back in later on.
100%. Santa needs to call for help and Trudy has a plan. So Santa goes down to the gate and the phone is dead, which kind of scuppers his plan completely. Santa picks up the walkie-talkie and speaks to Scrooge, and he demands they leave. So he can. I love. He's like, "You need to go." And they're like, "Why do we need to go?" He's like, "Because I have a really busy night and I need to finish delivering my presents." And they're like, "I'm going to find you and end you, Santa." And by now he's bleeding heavily. How he patches himself up. He strips a bit of tinsel. He uses the hook from a Christmas ornament to stitch his wound. He then sticks a bit of wrapping paper on it and ties it up with a bow.
Perfect. And then puts like this, he puts like Christmas wrapping tape over the top of it as like a bandage.
Yeah.
Like gift wrapping tape. So cool. I really like this though, because while he's doing this, he passes out and we get sort of like a flashback kind of dream sequence to his prior life before Santa. And we find that he was a Viking.
Yeah,
a Viking warrior.
We get the first flash of Viking Santa, and I imagine there are many men and many women who saw that and went, "Oh,
yeah,
oh my god!"
Because to me, when he strips off to start patching himself up, he's covered in scars and Maori tattoos, and you're like, "What the fuck, Father Christmas? What have you been doing?
What were you been up to?" I didn't realize it was that rough working with the elves. Shit.
I mean, for anybody who is a diehard fan, by this point you can already work out the parallels. That Scrooge is the Gruber, Father Christmas is obviously John McClane, and the young girl Gertrude is Officer Powell, who's outside on the walkie-talkie. It is the same narrative all the way through.
Yeah. We get the mercenaries now trying to torture. It's the dad. They try to torture and they get a nutcracker and break his finger, and then they're going to crush his balls in the nutcracker. And I was like, that's not good. You can't do that. And it's Trudy who stands up and goes, no, he doesn't know anything. It's actually the real Santa. And the dad snaps. He's like, Santa isn't real. We've been telling you this. It's a lie. And I'm sorry, but that's where we are. And it's
even all the mercenaries are like, "Oh, dude."
It was Scrooge. He's like, "Shit, we need to come back at Easter so he can fuck up the Easter bunny for her too."
My favorite, the mercenaries as well. There's a character who I think he goes by Krampus.
This is the crazy guy who was really keen. Like, I'll crush his nuts.
He was the one who was ready to get his balls out because the other woman who was like, "I'm not touching it." And Scrooge is like, "I've seen you hold people's brains in your hand." He's like, "Yeah, but it's different. I'm not touching his junk." And then Krampus comes in. He's like, "I'll do it."
Yeah, Krampus is really. I say he's really fun. He's a really bad dude, but he is very funny and very funny later in the movie when he has his moment where he's like, "You're all gonna die."
And he is a fantastic actor. There's a film that I'd seen him in, and even since watching it now, I don't know why I haven't just gone to Google, but I can't for the life of me remember what the film was. And he plays two twin brothers, and they're like serial killers capturing children. And I think it's Henry Cavill who's like a copper in it, and like he investigates. It's more like a true crime thriller than it is an actual horror movie. But if anybody can remember it, I'll hold off on Googling and call in for probably the new year now and let us know what movie I'm actually referring to. But he's in that, and he plays two characters in it, two twin brothers, and he's fucking amazing.
Yeah, I really like. In fact, all of the casting in this is solid. I don't think there's anyone who I've gone, "Oh, you're pretty bad." They're all pretty good in this.
Yeah, I'm trying to think now. Maybe the mum. There was moments where I was a bit sketchy on her, but I don't think that was necessarily her. It was more, I think she's younger than she's portrayed to be in this movie, and I think that's what it is. I think she's heavily make-upped and wigged, and I was like, you don't look authentic enough, and that was probably maybe more my issue than it was actually the actress playing her.
Yeah. Trudy runs off and she goes and hides in the attic. She asks Santa if she could set up traps like Home Alone. Santa has no fucking idea what Home Alone is. Just like, yeah, cool. As long as you're quiet and you don't get caught, do what you like.
I find it amazing that he doesn't know what Home Alone is.
I like it. And I like the fact that she's like, my mum and dad just told me Santa's not real. The way he explains this is honestly so wonderful. He's like, look, there's lots of parents who say that. And yes, I don't deliver to every little boy and girl, but I deliver to the ones who truly believe and the ones who really need me. And it was sort of yeah, that works.
Man, these moments of genuine heartfeltness throughout this film that I wasn't prepared for.
There really, really is. And this movie is so well written. I think that's what its standout thing is. Everything is so well written, so neatly tied together. They don't leave anything out. And where there are plot holes, they simply go, we don't know. And they say it on screen, so you've got nothing to pick holes in.
Yeah, I don't know what you have prepared for facts and stuff, and I don't know much about the production of this movie. As I say, I've just watched it this week for the first time and haven't given it any consideration since. But I have to assume this is one of those things that's been an idea and in the works for a lot of years.
Nope.
Perfectly crafted. If this is just something that somebody has written on the whim with an idea and then just come up with, that is incredible. Hollywood, make this your go-to guy for all the rest of your movies.
For all Christmas horrors, this is your go-to man from now on.
You use the word horror, but we'll save it because this is not horror.
This is more this lives in the same level of brutality as Terrifier movies. You cannot tell me this is not a horror.
But so does Lethal Weapon and Die Hard and every
Lethal Weapon and Die Hard
90s action movie.
No, I disagree. We'll save that for our roundup argument. Santa also proves he's real by telling Trudy what he bought her last year and the year before and the year before that, and giving loads of little facts that only Santa could know. I love that the mercenaries make the family exchange gifts because they want to see what rich people give each other. And we go to James from Twilight as he gives the gift to the mother.
Oh, what a dickhead.
His gift is a movie pitch starring him. And the mother's like, yeah. And she's not in for it at all. And then the son's got her whiskey and a note. And she reads the note and they have this long, awkward stare and they don't say anything. And we don't find out what it is at this point. I'm going to tell you, he's stolen the $300 million and he's going to, we've already said spoilers, tough. He's going to run away with the money and take his family, and he wants nothing to do with the family. But what
did you think from her expression in this moment? Did you, I was like, she looked like she had admiration and appreciation for him, and was if to say like, well done, you've grown a pair of bollocks.
I kind of knew he'd taken the money at that point.
I didn't know he'd taken the money because obviously, and even when the money disappears later on when we get to it, I still didn't even think it was him at that moment either. I just thought he was, because of all the setup with his family and stuff like that, I thought he was just saying, look, I'm done and I'm out. Thanks for everything, but I'm no longer going to be a part of the family. I didn't even think about the money at that time.
Yeah, no, I did. I kind of knew where it was going. We get more of Santa's flashback. As he's explaining to Trudy that he wasn't always a good dude and he had a big sledgehammer called Skull Crusher that he could take off 3 heads in one swing.
He was explaining this to a child. I was like, dude.
And Trudy's like, is there one thing, like, do you have a Christmas wish? And he's like, yeah, I really want to see Mrs. Claus again. And with that, he takes his wedding ring off because he thinks he's done for. And the wedding ring hits the floor and it rolls across the floor. And Trudy goes, well, maybe you could turn some of those bad things you've done and use those bad things for good. And as she says it, his ring hits a sledgehammer and he literally puts his wedding ring straight back on and picks up the sledgehammer. I was like, this is fucking amazing.
But again, though, it's like side plots and development that this movie just doesn't deserve. Like, he's traumatized and dealing with separation from Mrs. Claus, and it's like, what the fuck is going on? But it works so well in the context of the movie.
It really, really does. There's a special extraction team coming to save the family, and the mercenaries aren't really bothered. And it turns up that this extraction team are working with them. This extraction team corner Santa in a little barn, and there must be 30 of these guys, if not more. Santa takes out every single one of them with his sledgehammer in what must be a 15-minute brutal attack.
The most beautifully choreographed action sequence I have ever seen. He just ballet dances his way around this barn, just swinging heads. The best one is when he gets them in the chipper.
Yeah, 3 of them, drags them into the.
What is it he uses to tie them together?
It's like bungee cords.
Yeah, I thought he was going to just kick one of them into the chipper, but he doesn't. He gets this cord and he ties one of them up, and then he swings it around another and swings it around another, and then just flicks a switch, and they all just simultaneously get dragged through it. I was like, that is awesome.
Yeah. Also, the bit where the guy puts his leg out to try and kick Santa in the leg and knock him over, and he just takes the sledgehammer to his shin. It's like, ow, ow,
you just see it split backwards in half. It was brutal as fuck, man. I love the best one though, even though this is also graphic and gory, the best bit is when he walks outside and the guy who's been on the head camera monitor monitoring all the guards and being like, what's going on? What's going on? In fact, actually, before I do go into this, do you know what really annoys me about stuff like this is where they use head cams and things?
Yeah.
And then when somebody dies, it goes no signal on the monitor. And it's like, is it connected to your heart rate? And that's why the camera's gone off. I never understood this in films.
No, I've never understood it. But hey, that again, minor gripe. Stop your minor griping.
Minor gripe. But yeah, so when he goes outside and the guy who's been on the monitor outside, he's like, shit. And he just thinks, fuck it, I'm out, and runs. He just winds back the sledgehammer and just throws it and wipes this dude out. He falls to the ground. And as he goes over, the guy picks up a grenade as if to throw it at him. And Santa just picks it up and I'm saying Santa now, and I hate myself. He picks up the grenade and just sticks it up his back and walks off and has the best line in the movie. He's like, I've got to watch.
I've got to watch.
Turns around.
Kaboom.
The guy just blows to pieces.
In all this carnage, Santa does get caught. And Mr. Scrooge is questioning him. And Santa's just doubling down, look, I am Santa. I kind of don't know what else to tell you. I'm Santa. That's my magic sack. And they've pulled 700 presents out of this bag that's the size of a Tesco's carrier bag. And Scrooge just slings it on the fire and saying it's a party trick. Santa escapes up the chimney and they all kind of go...
You just stop skipping the best bits, man. You do it every time.
Why would they skip?
This scene is so impactful. So he's obviously tied into the chair and Gertrude is up in the loft. And she's trying to save him. So she starts sprinkling down fake snow. And then everybody there is all like, oh, maybe he is the real Santa. And they all start to believe. But Scrooge is like, no, this can't be real. There's got to be an explanation for this. He tastes the snow and he's like, it's polystyrene shredding. Stop being idiots. And this is a moment where Santa then turns around. He's like, he says to the guards and everybody else, he starts calling them by their real name. And they're like, how do you know my name?
Yeah.
How do you know who I am? And then he starts telling them about presents they got in the 80s. He's like, remember when you really wanted that bike? I gave that to you. Remember when you really wanted that sandpit? I gave that to you. And they're all just stood there proper dumbfounded as if to say how does he know all this information? It's brilliant. It really is brilliant.
It is really, really clever and it's really well done. And I really love the fact that Scrooge is it's a party trick. It's you like women with tits. It's nothing special, and that's when he burns his sack, and that's when Santa just wiggles his nose. He's got just enough magic to fucking get up the chimney and out. They get into the vault, and the money is gone, and Scrooge goes absolutely mad, and he goes into the main room. He's like, "Which of you fuckers done it?" And he's going to start killing the family one by one. And the dad confesses that he stole it from his mum. The sister sucking up at this moment is just great. She's like, see, I know you should have given the company to me. I always knew he was going to be bad. It's like, fucking stop it. Stop it now.
And the young boy, he gets his redemption moment here because he's like, look, you're going to start killing us all off one by one. How do you know that one of us doesn't know where the money is?
Yeah.
And just saves the entire family immediately.
Yeah.
And Scrooge is like, fuck! And starts shooting at the Christmas tree.
But it's inadvertently as well. He's not done that because he's clever. He's done it by accident.
Oh, yeah. Just talking because that's all he does.
It's Home Alone time as 2 of the mercenaries, I think they're called Ginger and I can't think what the other one's called. One's Ginger, one's Cookie. Let's call it Cookie. Yeah. They walk up to the entrance to the loft and they're like, I can see the board on the floor with all the drill bits stuck in it. I can see the nail on the step. This is not booby traps, you silly girl. And the guy goes to run up, and what he hasn't seen is one of the rungs of the ladder is broken. And as he treads on it, he falls down, and the nail on the other run of the ladder goes right through the bottom of his chin.
Oh, it's so good, man. And it's like they watched Home Alone. It's like, right, that scene is so impactful, and everybody always remembers the scene where the nail goes through his foot. How do we do that, but make it better?
Yeah,
and I think they achieved it.
And they've literally done Home Alone again, but they've made it R-rated. This is really brutal. So the other girl climbs over his back to get up into the loft, and this is where Trudy releases bowling balls that roll down, bounce nicely off a trampoline, and go down the hole. She kind of gets out of the way of a couple, and the guy like picks up this nail and he's looking at it. No, first he gets the bowling ball in the head and he goes back on the nails and the screws. Then he gets up and he's looking at
his ass. Yeah, he gets it in his ass.
Yeah, and he's looking at one, like holding it up in front of him, like, oh, that really hurt. And a bowling ball comes down, hits his hand, and he stabs himself in the forehead with this like drill bit.
Oh, yeah, because he's holding it up like that, looking at it, and it just whoosh, hits him in the head. He falls backwards onto the nail, but this time, instead of being in the ass, they just go through his back into his chest.
Yeah.
Completely killing him.
There's glue on the floor, which gets the other woman mercenary stuck on the floor. She falls back onto the glue, and as she pulls herself up, she like tears all of her hair and part of her scalp off.
Oh, yeah.
She then treads on Christmas ornaments, and in the corner is Trudy with like this big elastic band as she fires like a golf ball, a tennis ball, a massive like dumbbell, which smashes her in the face. The woman loses her temper, pulls her gun, and this is where Santa arrives. And Santa knocks her to the ground, turns around to Trudy and goes, okay, sweetheart, what I need you to do now for me is I need you to turn around, close your eyes, put your fingers in your ears and sing Jingle Bells as loudly as you can. And then when he spins around, he's like, you were about to kill a child. That's naughty. And then smashes her face in with a sledgehammer.
So cool, man. So cool. I can't, honestly. So good.
Mr. Scrooge finds the money and he orders for all the hostages to be killed. This is where the mercenary that you like and that I quite like, Krampus, is like, oh, it's my favourite bit. It's where you all die. And they start having this argument. He's like, who should I kill first? And like the sister and Bertrude are like, kill her. She's not even part of the family. And the mum's like, hold on a minute. You're horrible and nasty people. Kill them. And in this little argument, there's enough time to distract him so they can get hold of the fire pokers. And they beat him within an inch of his life with the fire pokers. And then the sister stabs him through the neck.
Yeah.
And then they go, it's really nice to do something as a family for a change.
Did he come back after that?
No, he's gone. He's dead.
I thought he had like his scream moment.
No, he's dead at that point.
Ah, okay.
Santa brings Trudy into her mum. And I love this. They're like, who are you? And he's like, just call me Mr. Claus.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, well, you seem to know what you're doing, so we'll listen to you. And he's like, does anyone know how to shoot? And the mum's like, well, I used to hunt. And he just throws her a rifle.
Because he doesn't. He's all the way through this. Every time he's picked up a gun, he's not known how to use it or turn the safety off or anything, and always just ends up having to resort to melee weapons.
Yeah, and he's like, you need to cover me. And Santa goes out and demolishes like another 3 or 4 people that are stood there. He then steals the manger from the nativity scene and goes all X Games, where he runs down the hill and slides after the snowmobiles that it's Mr. Scrooge. They've kidnapped the grandmother. The dad's on one, and you've got the like head of the elite SWAT team is on them together.
Yeah, so the elite SWAT team who have come in, the reason that Scrooge knows everything is because the head of the house, the mum, she has an elite kill squad, as they call it in this film, the kill squad. So anytime they're in danger or in situations, the kill squad will come in and rescue them, or in any situation like that. So the reason Scrooge knows so much as he does is because the kill squad who work for the mum are actually in on it with Scrooge, and they all come together to take this money as a unit.
Yeah.
So now they're all working together, and Santa has to basically obliterate not just the mercenaries, but an entire kill squad army as well. And the guy who had stolen the money had stashed it in the nativity scene out in the garden in the hay bale. So they're loading up all the snow plows with all the money. And then this is when Santa comes in and starts wiping them out. And as they try to escape on the snowplows with the money attached to the back of it in duffel bags, that's when this whole Fast and Furious chase sequence ensues.
Yeah, and he uses the manger as a sled to chase after them. And like he does a jump and he lands on the back of one and he takes one off and like the grandmother's thrown on the floor. It all leads us to Santa charging at Scrooge outside this like old abandoned cabin on the grounds. And he's coming at him with a snowmobile and Scrooge's like, come on then, big guy. Come on, Big Red. And then he steps out of the way and there's a log. And Santa hits the log and the snowmobile and Santa go through the wall of the cabin. That's how hard they hit. And I love the fact Scrooge sees the list and he has the realization this is the actual Santa. Yeah. And he's so happy. He's like, I'm the one that gets to end this fucking holiday forever. And he hits us with the line, Christmas dies tonight.
I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it because I was texting you a bit throughout this. I was like, dude, this movie's awesome. And when this hit and he said that, I literally pressed pause immediately. I was like, Scott, he said Christmas dies tonight.
There's so many little lines that you just go, I can't believe he just said that, but he did. Okay. Their fight is great. So it's Santa with his sledgehammer and you've got Scrooge has got a knife and a pickaxe. Scrooge basically beats Santa back all the way back out into the open, and there's an old abandoned fireplace, and he pins Santa's hand with the pickaxe to the fireplace.
Let's just be clear. The only reason he gets advantage is because they're basically having a duel on an ice rink, and Santa's in his leather buckle swash shoes, and Luigi's got snowplow boots with spikes in them, which is he can move around freely and Santa's slipping about like Bambi on ice, basically.
Yeah, and he keeps kicking Santa with them as well, which is brutal.
Yeah.
Really brutal. He puts the pickaxe through Santa's palm and pins him to this old chimney. And he goes to stab Santa and Santa rips his hand through, very Michael Myers-esque.
Very Michael Myers.
Rips his hand through the pickaxe, grabs hold of Scrooge and touches the side of his nose. And as soon as he done it, I went, what happens when he goes through a chimney?
We find out because it's very Evil Dead.
Yeah. And what happens is Santa pops out of the top holding a square block of Scrooge with a fountain of blood that comes out behind him with some various body parts hitting the floor.
Just blood and guts and gore everywhere. It's fucking traumatizing to watch.
And it's like, I was convinced, like, this is the end of the movie. This is where it's done. And the head of the extraction team pops out and shoots Santa in the head. I was like, oh shit, this has gone really dark really quick.
Did it shoot him in the head?
Yeah, it's in the head.
Oh shit. I don't know if I noticed that.
Yeah, it was in the head. The grandmother pops out and she kills the extraction team guy with a bullet to the back of the head. No, sorry, it wasn't in the head. She shot the extraction guy in the head. He shot Santa 4 or 5 times in the chest.
Right. Okay. I was going to say like headshots because I remember the scene afterwards and I was like, he didn't look like he'd been shot in the face or anything.
Santa is dying and there's lots of little fires around and there's nothing they can do. And the dad's like, let's just keep him warm because the whole family have got here at the moment. They start burning the money. Santa dies and Trudy begs for him to wake up. I'm not going to lie. I got a little bit teary-eyed here. Santa died.
No, it's very emotional.
Yeah.
And this is all due to the performance from Trudy as well. She's fantastic in this. You can see she's distraught by what she's witnessed.
Excellent actress. The power of magic and belief brings him back though, so it's fine. I like the fact how like Trudy's like, I believe in you, Santa. And then like the mum and dad are like, we believe in you. And then it gets to like the grandmother and she's like, I believe in you too. And then it goes to the sister and she's like, oh, for fuck's sake. If everyone else is like, yeah, I believe, whatever.
Yeah, because she's just such a sheep.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, it's Trudy first, then the mum, then the dad comes round, and then it's the dickhead YouTuber kid.
Yeah.
He's like, and you can tell he's genuine as well. He's like, I do believe.
Yeah.
And then the mum's sort of like, oh, okay, I'll jump on board with it. And then she's like, well, because everybody else is, I suppose I'd best.
I love the fact he gets up and she's like, "How are you alive?" He's like, "Christmas magic." I honestly, I've told you multiple times, I don't get it. I don't understand how it works. The reindeer are back now, so the reindeer arrive, and Santa again.
He loses his shit.
Yeah, he threatens to kill them and turn them into stew and feed them to the elves. And then he realizes they've gone to get his spare sack, and also he's got from Mrs. Claus his skull crusher sledgehammer. She sent the original sledgehammer because she obviously knows he's having a bad night.
And a note that says, I thought you might need this.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, one thing I'm disappointed about in this movie is I know in this universe Santa has elves and Santa has a wife, and we don't see either. I was desperate to see like the elves arrive or see Mrs. Claus. I wanted that redemption at the end where we see him get home and just like a quick shot of the North Pole. I'd have loved that, and we didn't get it.
I think this has got a sequel greenlit, though, has it not?
It has last week been greenlit.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure I heard somewhere along the grapevine that this is getting another one. So we may still get that. You may get that further exposition that you require for it. I mean, for me, I felt it felt very contained enough to not need it, but I was also, similar to you, very curious about those elements, but I don't feel it was missing from this movie.
Casting for Mrs. Claus, Winona Ryder, job done.
Amazing. If that's not the case, if that doesn't happen, I won't watch it.
We now get the traditional Christmas, now Dasher, now Dancer, now Comet, now Cupid, that bit. And he flies up into the sky. He's like, "Come on, you beautiful bastards. We've got work to do. Merry Christmas." And he actually ho-ho-hos. It's like,
he does ho-ho-ho, yes.
We get Slade for the end credits, which is great. We also get, did you see the mid-credit scene?
No, and I'm annoyed at myself because I was like, I feel like this is the type of film that would have one, but I was just kind of done by this point. I was like, nah, that's good enough for me. I'm ready to bow out.
The mid-credit scene, about a minute in, it cuts to Bertrude, and Bertrude live on TikTok. "Santa Claus is real, motherfuckers. I saw him. Santa's the best. Don't care what any of you say. You can all hate in the comments. I know he's real. I'm the man. Santa's my G."
Okay, that kind of makes me wish I'd have stuck around for it, to be honest.
We are going to have some gushing roundups for this. I wonder what everyone else thought based on their low scores this week.
Very good review. Very nice.
When I get Dave to do them next year, 100% he's going to do us a Luigi. It's time for 3 reviews. We had a lot this week. Over on X, Movies for Days, fucking Chimney Kill. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. They're a movie podcaster. They're also part of the You Run podcast network from January. We've got the Slip List podcast, McLean Home Alone, and they're a wine and top 5 podcast. We've got Effing Cultured, Viking Santa Slays, and they're a mixed fandom podcast. Joker Daddy. All right, stop. Hammer time.
Cool.
And they're a mixed fandom account. Over on TikTok, we've got Nabrab, Adult Home Alone, and they're a private account, so I don't know what they do. Just Jason 1911, You Better Watch Out, and they're a horror account. Over on Instagram, Ches Presley, Magical Christmas Carnage, and he's a film director. Mike the Movie Misfit, Die Hard 5.
That would be awesome.
And they're a movie account. The Sickness Horror, John Wick Santa. And they're a horror account.
Because he just gets his ass handed to him all the way through this. So I don't really know if that applies.
And we got one from Threads, which was Dewey Pod Monster, who's a movie pod and also part of the You Run podcast network in January. Milk and Whiskey.
Nice. Yeah, I made a point of saying about it. It's weird, right?
It is, but I wouldn't say that I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't say that I wouldn't tip milk out and just pour some whiskey in and go, "That'd be all right."
Nothing goes well with milk.
Warm milk and whiskey works.
No, the only thing that goes well with milk is porridge.
Yeah, well.
Recommended account of the week.
And I literally didn't give you any time to sort that out.
No, you fucking did it all.
That's what you get for telling me milk doesn't go with whiskey. How dare you?
I didn't realise you were such a strong advocate for milk.
Got milk.
Oh, that's next week. So this week's recommended account is The Attic Review. The Attic Review is an Instagram account and YouTuber who does, as it says on the tin, he's a reviewer of movies and, well, mainly horror movies in general. Great guy. I've been following this account for quite a while now, to be honest with you. He does a lot of interesting stuff on his Instagram account. He always posts particular scenes from horror movies, and it's like, oh, does anybody remember this? And 9 times out of 10, it's usually a movie that I'd forgotten about and be like, oh, holy shit, that's a great movie, and will spare me on to then go and rewatch said film. He posts memes and similar stuff like that on his Instagram account, but his YouTube account, he's a very thorough and opinionated reviewer, and something that I feel a lot of people who listen to this show will appreciate and enjoy. So for that reason, this is this week's recommended account of the week. If you want to find him on Instagram, it is _attic_review. His name is Gilbert. Great guy. Give him a like, give him a follow, go find his YouTube channel, give him a subscribe. And as always, whether it's on Instagram or YouTube, give him a like, give him a comment, let him know that the Urine Podcast sent you, and show him some support. It would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah. Yeah, and as always with three-word review, recommended account, do go and show them the love, because they do genuinely appreciate it, and it does bring them to us as well.
Yes, of course.
It's kind of like the circle of life. It's the circle of helping each other.
This is it. A lot of the times I'll recommend an account, and they'll be like, oh, I didn't realize you did podcast. That's cool. I'll check out your episodes. And then they start listening to us, and then they'll start sharing our stuff, and we'll share their stuff. And, you know, it's a big family. We all like to bring in new members. So
tis the
check
season.
him out. Tis the, well, not quite, but we will be next week. So give him a like, give him a follow. And as always, like you say, let him know that we sent you there.
Facts for this. So Merry Christmas Everybody by Slade is a British Christmas anthem and not very well known in the United States. It was chosen for the end credits by David Harbour's wife. Do you know who he's married to?
Yeah, Lily Allen. Legend.
Yeah, it was Lily Allen on set with David Harbour while he's filming going, you need to use Slade. You need to use Slade. You need to use Slade. And eventually the director went, just fuck off. We'll use Slade, okay?
That's amazing.
The logo for the catering company van is Farkas and Dill, after the bullies in A Christmas Story.
Oh, that's cool. Do you know what? Confession, I have never seen A Christmas Story. And I've also never seen It's a Wonderful Life. Can you believe that?
I'm going to move on because I don't know what to say. Scrooge asked Santa Claus, all right, who the hell are you, huh? Some kind of security guard who's watched too many action flick, which is an echo of what Hans Gruber says to John McClane in Die Hard. It's like, you're just another American who saw too many movies as a child. It's a direct reference to that. The writer of this, Tommy Waroka, spoke about referencing Home Alone, and he said that he loved Home Alone as a kid. And as he got older, he's like, they would die if you do those things to them. They would not survive the first 2 traps. And when he got to do it in this, he said the way they looked at it was, we want to take these deadly Home Alone traps and let's actually play it out how it would happen and hold nothing back. And he said that some of the traps they had, they basically, then they brought them to the production team. The production team went, no. They had traps where like people's heads got severed and all sorts. And it was like, that's too much. You've gone too far.
Yeah. And to be fair to him, he's not the first person to do it. I do think Better Watch Out does the Home Alone ripoff better.
It does do it better. I'll give it that. This is a really oddball one. So, you know, the window, the circular window that Trudy stares out and watches Santa killing everyone. It's the same window that Caesar looks out of in Rise of Planet of the Apes. Same set.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. I'll put them side by side this week so everyone will get to see. It's literally exactly the same shot.
Is it Rise? That's a fair? No, the first one's where he lives in the loft, isn't it?
It's Rise. It's James Franco's house. Rise of Planet of the Apes.
Oh, is that Rise? I thought Rise was the second one. Apologies.
No, it's the first one. Beverly D'Angelo, who is like she's the one who plays the grandmother, the matriarch. She's a matriarch in another Christmas movie, which is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation from 1989. Also,
maybe she is as old as I thought she should be then.
Also, both movies have heavily trained individuals invading our home at Christmas, someone's hair catching fire, and death by electrocution of a Christmas tree.
That's cool.
It's really cool. The idea of Santa having a violent past is actually based around Saint Nicholas. So he wasn't a Viking, but he had a violent moment, quite a few violent moments. He had a famous fight in a church, which I'm not going to go into. Go Google it. It's quite a long story. But he was also known associates with sailors, pirates, thieves, and was known for getting in trouble with fighting and dodgy deals. Also, he is the patron saint of prostitutes.
Is that an actual title?
Yeah, Saint Nicholas is the patron saint of prostitutes.
It doesn't really go hand in hand with what he's known for these days, I'll be honest with you.
No, so yeah, he was known for something very, very different to what he's known for now. So yeah, remember that when you're tucking your kids in, what St. Nicholas actually was. He was a violent drunk who hung around with pirates and sailors who, yeah, was the patron saint of hookers. What a guy.
Scarface from the old days.
He was. Dave, what do we do now? I've lost the sound clip. We're going to play a game. That's like the best thing that's ever happened.
Oh, the anticipation was immense then as well.
Yeah, Dave, what are we going to do now? Absolutely nothing. We're going to play a game, and this is a game that I play in my house every Christmas. It's a simple game of 20 questions, and if you've seen our latest edition of True Crime, we also played it on there. Me and Heather played it. So what you do in this game is you pick a character, a movie, or an object, and then you have 20 questions to guess what that may be. So you're going to go first. So you pick a movie, a character, an object, whatever it is you may be. And I've got 20 questions to work out what you are. The only stipulation is you must keep it Christmas themed.
Right. Okay.
So have you got something?
Yes.
Okay. So they're all yes, no questions. So are you a movie?
Yes.
Are you Home Alone?
No.
Are you a Christmas movie?
Yes.
Are you a Christmas horror movie?
Yes.
Have we covered you on the show?
No.
Have you reviewed? Have you fucking hell? Have you reviewed it on your page?
Yes.
Have you reviewed it this year on your page?
No.
Ooh. Does it have a robot in it?
No.
Does it have monsters in it?
No.
Does it have a Santa in it?
Not traditionally, if it does, not in the sense that you would probably think.
Okay. Is it a movie from the 70s?
No.
Is it a movie from the 80s?
No.
A movie from the 90s?
Yes.
Okay, so a 90s Christmas movie that doesn't necessarily have a Santa in it.
It's a Christmas movie, so there'll be a Santa in it somewhere, but Santa's not the focus of the movie. Okay,
so it's a Christmas horror from the 90s, which is kind of like the weakest part of my knowledge base ever. Was it a blockbuster hit?
No.
Will I have heard?
Come on, I mean, you should have known asking me that kind of question.
Will I have even heard of this movie?
Definitely. That's 15, by the way. You've got 5 questions left.
Yeah, I'm counting them on my hands. Off
right. I was going to say I'm doing it under the desk too.
Is it Gremlins?
No.
90s Christmas horror. Has it got a famous actor or actress in
it? Define famous.
Like big star.
If I said name, you would know who it is.
Right. Okay. I'm going to give up. I have no idea, and
You've got 3 questions left, so you might as well just try and think of something.
Has it ever been remade?
No.
Would you classify it as a Christmas horror classic?
Yes.
Oh, this makes it worse because I'm going to kick. Is it Jack Frost?
It is.
Yes, get again.
Oh, I didn't think you were going to get that. Well, I shouldn't have given you those last 3 questions. I should have just taken your final answer.
I literally I went, hold on a minute. I know what that is. It's got a snowman in it.
Shannon Elizabeth would have been your actress who you would have known had I have said.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Now it's my turn.
Go?
Yeah.
Are you going to do the counting?
Yeah, I'll do the counting for you. I'm going to think of something. Okay. Right. I've thought of something.
Are you a Christmas movie?
No.
I mean, that's not fair. I've gone very seasonal with my options. You have such a wide scope of
No. I'm not a Christmas.
I'm not pigeonholed me and then gone in a completely different direction.
I'm not a Christmas movie. It doesn't mean I'm not part of a Christmas movie.
Oh, you fucking know the game you're playing, right? You're not part of a Christmas movie.
No, I'm not a Christmas movie, but I might be part of a Christmas movie. Maybe asked if I'm a character in a Christmas movie might help you.
So you are a Christmas movie then, really? You don't?
No.
This is what you did with the Hellraiser question.
No.
Right? Listen, you're not going to get me out on a formality. If you're in a Christmas movie, then yes, you are a Christmas movie.
No, because you're not guessing the title of the movie. You're guessing I am a character in a Christmas movie. You've used 2 questions.
I know the concept. I'm just saying you should have said, yes, I'm Christmas.
Okay, go on, keep going. You've used 2.
No, I haven't. I've used 1. And yes, you are Christmas. Stop cheating.
Okay.
Are you male?
Yes.
Are you human?
No.
Are you allowed to be fed after midnight?
No, I am definitely not.
You are Gizmo.
Fuck it. There's 5 questions. You've done me in 5. Well done. Well, that's our fun little Christmas game. It's only a little Christmas game. Can
I just say, I knew you were Gizmo from question 1.
Did you really?
I know you. Yeah, I knew straight away. I was like, this dude's Gizmo.
Do you know the stupid thing is we play this every year, and every year my first go, I'm always Gizmo. To the point when we played it last year, I think it was Lisa's mum went, "Are you Gizmo?" was her first question. Like, yes, I am.
That is excellent.
I'm going to let you take roundup on this one first.
Okay. So, Violent Night, first time watch for me. Very, very, very solid, entertaining, seasonal holiday movie that I will watch year in, year out for the forthcoming future. Great cast. Everybody involved delivers solid performances. The humor is pitch perfect throughout. Directing is great. The violence and gratuitous blood and guts that we see throughout this film is fantastic. The homages to seasonal horror movies such as Home Alone, Die Hard, everything in between, it's all there and it's all done with purpose. There isn't really a great deal for me to say other than that this is a fantastic movie. I do feel that it kind of lost me slightly within the last maybe 25 minutes. And I say it lost me slightly because I didn't become unengaged with the movie. I just weren't as engaged as I was with the initial setup and everything else that was coming with it, because the runtime of this is an hour and 48, I think it is at times in it, 48 minutes. I can't really figure out what would necessarily need to be cut in order to make it tighter, because everything that is done throughout feels so vital to the story.
I'd have cut the snowmobile scene. I'd have cut that.
But even that itself was only a couple of minutes long. I don't feel like taking that out of it would have really condensed it enough. There seems like there's a 20-minute overkill segment in this, but I can't figure out where it needs to be taken out of to make it tighter, because everything else about it flows so well. The pacing's really, really on point. I just kind of got a little bit tired towards the end. And as I say, it was only slightly. It didn't ruin my experience with the film. I just felt myself maybe slightly reaching for my phone a bit, which is something that I never did within the first sort of hour and 15 minutes of this movie. I was in, do you know what I mean? I was there with it throughout. So I don't know where I would make those cuts, but if I could condense it to maybe an hour and 30, I feel like it would have made it a more tighter and enjoyable experience for me. But as it stands, I think it's phenomenal. I thought it was a really, really good movie. I'm just disappointed I wasn't one of the people that went out in droves to go see this in the cinema, because this would have been fantastic around the Christmas period to see on the big screen. Yeah. I'm jealous of that experience for you because I should have been one of those people. I'm annoyed at myself that I wasn't. Because seeing this on the big screen with the cinema experience, with the sound and everything else that comes with the cinema experience, as you all know, would have been brilliant for this movie. I'm very excited for the sequel that comes with it. This movie is 4.5 out of 5. And again, I think the only reason that I haven't given it the full top marks is purely down to the fact that the last act just kind of dragged a little bit for me ever so slightly.
Yeah.
Had it been an hour and 30, this would have got top marks all the way. I thought it was fucking brilliant. I had such a good time with this movie from start to finish. One thing I will say, which has no effect on the movie itself, is just in correlation to the podcast. This is not a horror movie. This is an action movie with gratuitous violence. And whether you like that or not, or whether you've come here based on horror movies and going to go watch this thinking it's a horror movie, let me just tell you now, it is not a horror movie. Following the generic formula that a horror movie is supposed to provide for you, this does not fall into that footing as far as I'm concerned. However, if you are somebody who will watch films that aren't necessarily always horror and can enjoy films such as this that aren't horror, go and watch it because it's fucking amazing.
Okay. This is 100% a horror movie. There is a 15-minute scene where Santa is the killer in this. Santa is the alien of this movie. There's a 15-minute scene where from the darkness, Santa terrorizes, picks off and brutally murders 30 people in one scene.
Bad guys, he's a hero.
Yeah, it's still a horror. Anyway, it's mindless fun, and that's exactly how it's meant to be viewed. Do not take it too seriously. It's got some pacing issues. I find bits that do drag, same as you. David Harbour is a great Santa. Not only does he nail the really violent, badass Santa, but when he's the nice, jolly Santa, he can 100% do this in a kids' movie and be adored by children across the globe. Yeah. He gives both performances, and both performances of Santa are great. I love the fact they play with the Santa lore. And then when it gets to a point where it gets too complicated, they make it so Santa simply does not understand it.
And that's perfect for me.
And if they do a sequel, and let's say we find out how Santa gets his powers, I really want whoever bestows the Christmas magic on Santa also not to know how it works.
I would just love it to be one of those things like, do you know, in the Santa Claus movie with Tim Allen?
Yeah.
You kill Santa, you become Santa. And he just goes on a rampage one night on Christmas, killing as a Viking, and accidentally kills Santa. And now he is Santa.
That will only work if Tim Allen has a cameo, and it's Tim Allen. He knocks off the roof with a sledgehammer.
Could you imagine? That would be fucking glorious.
The Home Alone, Die Hard, and every other Christmas reference in this are so on point, and every single one gets a laugh. I really enjoyed this. It will be watched every year by me now, without fail. It's up there right next to the greatest Christmas movie, up there with Gremlins, which it takes a lot to get up there as a Christmas horror with Gremlins. It's not perfect, but if you're wrapping presents and you want something on in the background that's just mindless fun, this is it. It's 9 out of 10.
Yeah, solid scores. I'm on point. Both scores are the same. But just quickly, while we're on it, did you watch the recent Jimmy Fallon interview with Tim Allen?
No.
He was talking about Santa Claus, the movie, the original Santa Claus, the movie that he was in, and the script for that originally. Do you know where he startles Santa and he falls, and that's how he dies?
Yeah.
Tim Allen was supposed to kill him with a shotgun. He was supposed to shoot him off the roof, but Disney was like, "Nah, we can't have that."
No, we definitely can't have that. That's not going to work.
But that was the original script for that film. He was supposed to cold blood shoot him with a shotgun off a roof.
Wow. We are back next week. It will be Christmas Day. So while you're doing your turkeys or unwrapping your presents or whatever you're doing, if you want something to entertain you, you're trying to avoid family, we are the place to go. Like I've said, I'm not telling you what the movies are now. I'm just giving you a quote from the movie. And this week, I'm not even giving you a quote from the movie. All I'm going to say is whipped cream titties.
But if you were paying attention, we did give a quote earlier.
We did. We will see you all next week.
Cheers, guys. See you next week.
Ho, ho, ho!
Showing off, I see. Quite the leading lady, aren't we? Why don't you give us all a show?
Music's been nice. Nice, naughty. Nice. There are hardly any naughty children.
Patriotic little fella, waving a flag and everything.
No, Claire, that's the Mormon Tabernacle Choir doing their annual theme phone call.
Kopek, you stop that, you bad kitty.
I hate Christmas carols.
Merry Christmas!
And before I forget, you want to die tonight?
Welcome to the secret part of the show. We've only got 2 of these left. I'm going to make them fun for me, not fun for you, because that's kind of where we are with this now. I'm going to release behind-the-scenes shots of Violent Night. They're going to go everywhere. I'm going to do a behind-the-scenes video as well. Pick one of these behind-the-scenes posts, and all I want you to comment on it is "you ho ho ho," you ho ho ho. And again,
with an E or just an O?
I don't mind.
I mean, spell it correctly. I mean, what we're going to do? We like ho 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 as in you're a ho, or just you ho 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 as Santa Claus? I mean, think about this.
I tell you what, I will let people choose whether they say ho 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 like Santa or they say you ho ho ho.
I feel like you should specify. There's got to be rules to the game here.
Okay, it's going to be the Santa ho ho ho.
But then that doesn't make sense because you ho 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 doesn't make sense. But you ho 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 does make sense.
Okay, so Mark's changing the rules. So use ho 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 with the E.
I'm just fucking with you, man. You do what you need to do.
Yeah, well, whichever one you want to do, you do that, and that puts you in the draw for being a guest on an episode in February. We've had so many people who've entered this since we've been doing it. We're going to do a live draw when we do our first episode of January. Second episode of January, because we've got a special for the first episode of January, which I can't talk about yet. But anyway, we'll see you Christmas Day. Have fun Christmas shopping. Be safe, be good, and we'll see you all next week.
Cheers, guys. See you next week.